I think the more teams use the G League, I mean, how is this different than the Yankees using Scranton? Aaron Judge went through Scranton. They should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the idea, if you can get a guy to work on certain skills, I think why not use this asset? It just makes people better. It gives them confidence. I mean, I watched TJ Warren go down there and score like 40 points 3 games in a row when he proved he was an NBA player. And I think you can really take a lot. If a guy's only scoring 14 points a game, if he's not starring down there, he's probably not going to be that good at the next level.
Right.
And you can really learn a lot, and you can build your culture. And if you run it the same and you're firm on these guys, see, I had a guy who played with Christian Wood and early in his career, and Charlotte let Christian Wood get away with murder. And so he then goes to the next situation with the Bucks. They let him get away with murder. Finally, when someone was firmer with him, Christian Wood was talent. He just needed someone to coach him, to your words, to be firm with him, to not tell him what he wants to hear. And now look at him. You know, he's a big star.
Yeah. He was really good on Detroit too last year. It's just that a lot of people, he didn't get as much attention. But when Drummond got traded, he was playing really well, like similar, maybe a little bit better now, but like similar to what he was doing with the Rockets before he got injured.
Well, and just think about it, though. We all want to be loved. We all want to be coached. He just wanted to be tough love. And you didn't have to tell him he was a piece of, you know what? You could have just said, hey, Christian, there's no reason why you're not the best player in this draft. But this is what you're not doing. And you can. I don't understand. That's what I thought we were getting. And that's kind of the way I would have talked to him. But NBA teams are loath to, they're not tough. They do everything for these guys. And the beauty of the G League is nobody does anything for you.
Right.
And so if you can fight through, you can become a really good player. And the names are, you know, one player after, you know, you look at the names of their best player. I mean, I watched Rudy Gobert down there playing Bakersfield. He was like, and now look at him. And if a team will buy into it, buy into the kids' development, the G League is great. You could develop at least a guy or two every year, and then it's worth it. And I don't understand that. And the coaches who develop in the G League from, well, CBA from Phil Jackson, George Karl, but Dave Yeager will be a head coach again, on and on. So many good coaches came from the G League. Nurse and Nurse's ability to adjust is because of the G League.
Right. So you don't think Portland will get a G League team at any time?
They so far haven't. Denver's getting Grand Rapids.
I heard Denver's getting one, yeah.
Now, so it's down to 2 because Phoenix got out of it, but they should get back into it. You need it for young players to develop. To just sit. There are NBA people, and I've had the fight with Boston, didn't enter a team in this. And I called the guy from Boston, what are you doing? How's Tremont Waters going to develop if you don't have, if you're not playing in the bubble? I called up Dallas. They have all these guys playing for other teams. And I wrote to the guy, say, you know, Mark Cuban's a genius, right? But his guys are playing for other people and they're not developing because they're not playing in your system.
Right.
You're telling me he doesn't have $500,000, which is what the bubble cost, to develop the kid from Stanford, to develop Nate Hinton and develop it's so they're going to come back the next year and they're going to go through the same process again. The kid will have missed a year.
Right.
And it becomes 2 years. And now you're making a judgment, Tyrell Terry, I was thinking his name. Now you're making a judgment on a player and you haven't given him a chance. You're judging him on someone else's team, trying to make his way. To his credit, he did okay, but makes so much more sense. Sacramento was cheap and they had a bunch of guys at the thing. They should have had teams in the bubble. There was no reason for them not to. They should have been developing Jahamis Ramsey and Robert Woodard, whatever his name is. They're good players and they made good draft picks, but they've wasted a year.
Right. And it's also kind of, just to go back to the G League and all the talent that we're talking about, you know, watching someone in college, you can get a sense of how they play, but playing against college players is not the same playing against NBA players or G League players who are potentially NBA players as well. It's a different level.